I discovered that my parents had secretly added my sister's name to the house deed. When I confronted them, they simply said, "She's the one who's always there. You're doing perfectly fine without it." So, without making a scene, I stopped covering their expenses. A month later, my mom texted me, "We need money for repairs." I replied with one sentence that ended the conversation. I didn't find out intentionally. I was helping my parents refinance their mortgage because they didn't really understand how interest rates worked, and the bank needed updated documents. The loan officer sent me a copy of the current deed. That's when I saw it. The house was in my parents' names and my sister Pet's name, not mine. I called the county recorder's office to confirm there wasn't some mistake. There wasn't. My parents had added Pet to the deed 14 months earlier, and they never told me. I sat with that information for 3 days. During those 3 days, I went through every dollar I had spent helping with that house. A new roof 2 years ago, $9,400. A complete plumbing repair the year before, $3,200. Property taxes I had paid every 3 months for 5 years. Property taxes I had paid every 3 months, repaired the furnace, fixed the back porch railing, and even paid a contractor to repair the foundation crack that was letting water into the basement. Over 5 years, my total contribution was more than $31,000. Pet lived only 11 minutes away. She came over every Sunday for dinner and posted pictures saying things like, "Family time is everything." She had never paid a single bill for that house. Not once. But apparently, being around was what mattered. That Thursday evening, I drove to my parents' house. I sat at the kitchen table and placed the deed paperwork in front of them. "When were you planning to tell me about this?" Dad barely looked at the papers. "Tell you about what? About Pet being on the deed. You added her to the house?" Mom looked at Dad. That familiar look they gave each other when they had already prepared their explanation. "It's just part of our estate planning." "Then why isn't my name on it too?" The silence said everything. Dad finally leaned back. "Pet is always around. She brings us meals, takes us to appointments, and checks on us every week. You're doing fine without this. You have your career, your apartment, and your own life. Your sister needs the security." I stared at him. "I paid for your roof. That was a gift," he replied. "I've paid your property taxes every quarter, and we appreciate it." I shook my head. "You appreciate it so much that you gave the house to someone who never spent a dollar on it?" Mom's voice became defensive. "Don't make this into something ugly. Pet just needs more support. She earns $74,000 a year, Mom. She drives a newer car than I do. We've made our decision." I stood up. "Then I've made mine." That night, I logged into every payment connected to their home. The property tax payment stopped. The homeowner's insurance I had been paying for 2 years was canceled. The $400 monthly support I sent for household expenses ended. I also called the contractor I had scheduled to renovate their bathroom the following month. The $6,800 project was canceled. I didn't send an angry message. I didn't threaten anyone. I simply stopped. 3 weeks passed. Then the property tax notice arrived. $2,100 due. Dad called, confused. "There's a tax bill here. Didn't you take care of this?" "No." I stopped paying it. "What do you mean? Pet is on the deed. She should help with the taxes on her property." He started saying I was acting immature. I told him I loved him and ended the call. A week later, the insurance cancellation notice arrived. Mom called in a panic. Then Pet called me, furious. "What are you doing?" "They're struggling to pay bills on a house that belongs to you now." I stayed calm. "Exactly. Since it belongs to you, you should handle it. You know it's not that simple. Your name is on the deed. Mine isn't. Act accordingly." She hung up. Then came the text from Mom. "We need money for repairs. The bathroom is leaking, and your father can't fix it himself anymore." I typed one sentence. "Ask the homeowner." She didn't reply. Nobody called for 2 weeks. Then Pet posted on Facebook about how important family support is during difficult times. The comments were filled with heart emojis. I didn't respond. Last week, Dad called. His voice sounded different. "Exhausted your mother, and I spoke with a lawyer. We want to add you back to the deed." I answered quietly. "I don't want to be on the deed, Dad." "Then what do you want?" I thought about everything that happened. "I want it to matter before it became expensive for you." The line went silent. For so long, I wondered if he had hung up. Then softly, he said, "I'm sorry. It was so quiet that I almost missed it."